Hey y'all, it's me, Niecielynn. This is July the 23rd. This is Flosstube 82. If you're new to the channel, thanks for showing up. It's a channel about stitching, cross-stitching, different kinds of sewing, and then whatever's going on my day-to-day life and what's going on in y'all's day-to-day life. And if you're not, thanks for coming back on Friday to stitch along and visit. I'm going to start this morning with Happy Mail because of my friend Flat Stanley. Flat Stanley came to visit all the way from, can I show part of this without showing all of this? No, I can't. Let me see here. Strongsville, Ohio. So from Strongsville, Ohio, Flat Stanley came in the mail to see me. And if y'all don't know about Flat Stanley, I've talked about him before. And I did find the whole collection. I didn't know there was only one though. This is the Flat Stanley book collection. And he is a friend of my friend Debbie, who teaches second grade. So hello, Miss Casimir's second grade class. Flat Stanley goes to visit people. He gets folded up and can go anywhere in envelope. So if you have grandkids or family that's far off, we have used Flat Stanley's many times. One year when we were in Mexico, let's see if I can find the one. Here is our Flat Sagey. We had a Flat Sagey in Mexico with us, and she would get in the pictures because Sage didn't get to go to Mexico with us that year. And then here she is down right here, I think, in this picture of us. You can probably see I'm holding her right there. So Flat Stanley is a really great story. He's super fun and he loves to travel around. So he's gonna be here with us this morning on the video. And Debbie sent me this beautiful note and asked if I would show him in the video. And as a thank you, she sent me this beautiful blackbird, which I do not have, Summer's Last Rose. And there are some beautiful, beautiful things in here. So thank you so much, Debbie, and thank you, Stanley, for showing up to visit. Oh no, that one will show if I show it. There, is it on the front? Yeah. That one is so cute with that fabulous house. So all these fabulous things in here. So if you don't know about Flat Stanley, you should check out the book. I'm sure all the libraries have them. I ordered that box set off of Amazon. I did not know there was more than one. So the girls were so excited when we opened up Stanley and he was in there. So they had a big time with him. And then Nancy sent this. Y'all, this is incredible. She sent goodies for the girls, which I didn't give them yet because I was gonna show them on the video. Y'all know they love them some stickers like crazy. And then here are some beautiful stickers from Heartstrings Samplery that have the animals, the one with the animals, it's not the lilies, it's the other one. And there's the Adam and Eve on here and the baby, It's Cold Outside. These are gorgeous. And then she sent me this beautiful note here. It's very Engelbright, which I love. But y'all, this is incredible. This is I was like, holy moly. I have never seen this nor heard of this. Look at this. It's a Noah's Ark Afghan, and it goes all the way around. How gorgeous is that? So thank you so much, Nancy and Debbie, because y'all definitely were a high point in this week of shingles and fever blisters and more crazy news that we'll get to later. But I wanted to start off with Flat Stanley so it would be easy for Debbie just to clip that part out and show the class. But he's going to hang out here with us while we video and watch what's going on. I don't know if Stanley's ever been on the Flosstube before. Maybe been on YouTube, but I don't know if he's been on Flosstube. So my kids love doing them. So if you haven't done Flat Stanley, he is a lot of fun. And he has little postmarks on the back where other people have taken in places. Stanley, can I undo you right here, buddy? Will you be offended? See, this says the Herbert Hoover National Historic Site. This is Scottsbluff National Monument, Fort Laramie National Historical Site, the Devil's Tower, the Pony Express in Nebraska. I mean, just all kinds of little fun things on here and signatures. So I'm going to sign him and then get him to stamp him over to Waxahachie and send him back. That's where I live, right dead center, kind of between Waxahachie and Midlothian. I'm kind of dead center. But I was born in Waxahachie and I grew up in Waxahachie, went to school there. And it is always my first love, always, always. And it's such a cool place. We have such cool history. Bessie Coleman, the Aviator, went to school there. She was the, I'm probably going to say it, I probably got it all wrong in my head. I should have looked this up. The first Black American and Native American woman aviator. And I can't remember all the things she did, which I should, like I said, I should have looked that up. But anyway, she's a very cool lady. And she went to school, her elementary years on, I think, through junior high in Waxahachie. So we have tons of fun, cool stuff over there. So I'll take Stanley over there to see all those things and pick up some paperwork to send back with him for Miss Casimir's class. So hello, Miss Casimir's class. Stanley has been very good while he's been here this week. And we are going to finish having lots of fun. He's been outside in the yard and on some walks and things, but that's not very exciting. He's just seen some rabbits and turtles and cows, but I'll take him to see some really cool stuff before I send him back this week. So thank you for sending him, Debbie. He is lots of fun. So we'll start right off with whips. Like I said, I'm going out of order because I thought that would be easier for Debbie to show Stanley at the beginning and not have to go through. Of course, she's probably so skilled, she'd probably go through and cut out the parts she needs like my kids do, but I'm not. So we're going to jump right on into whips. I did work on my Where Liberty Dwells, which is a Huswa, or however you say that word. It's by Heartstrings Samplery, and there's the name of it right there. Where Liberty Dwells, Huswa. It is beautiful. It is my first time stitching on 36 count. And here it is. I've got my shield and the top words and all the flowers on one side. And I think I need one more little piece of vine over here on this side. And then I'll just do my flowers. And then it has a surround, like a little border around it. And it has little eagles on the ends. So let's see if I think it shows in this one a little bit. See, it has a little border around here, and then there's a little eagle on this end and on this end. And then you finish them off and he kind of folds up of all the cool things. So I used called fors, except for I added in my A Wicked Stepmother Blue Bayou. I wanted my flowers to be I wanted my shield just to kind of stand alone. So I decided if I did my flowers a little bit lighter blue, then my shield would definitely be the centerpiece and definitely like show up a lot. So this is 36 count vintage country mocha, I think, that I just had in my stash and I'd always been too scared to stitch on, but that's what it called for. So I thought, you know what? I'm just going to do it and try it. It's gone fine. It's been so easy. And like I said, these are the called for DMCs, except for this one light blue, A Wicked Stepmother, that I added in. So it has been awfully fun to stitch and kind of hard to put down. I wanted to keep going on it, but I made myself put it down and get going on some other things. There hasn't been tons of stitching this week, but some of it has been laborious, as you will see. I stitched some more on my Bittersweet Season, which I'm loving. So I've got some specialty stitches in here. I think they called this a Scotch stitch. It's kind of like a satin, but it's not real full. And you can see some of the, there you go, of the designs I'm now putting in here. I set it aside after I did some more on this. The 3 stars with the metallic thread were kind of a beating, and I got kind of a third of the moon done, and I was like, ugh. And I knew I couldn't finish it because I need the fluffy thread so my cat didn't look so mangy. So I'm gonna run up and pick that up when we get done, even though I probably should not. The doctor kind of got on to me with my shingles and my continual outbreak of fever blisters. They called me in medicine, but I want to go get it so I can get it finished up, because I know there's a couple of y'all waiting to borrow it. So it's beautiful, but the metallic thread's kind of a whooping. So I just did that part of him and set him aside till I could come back and finish him. So if I talked to Kim yesterday, my Jack-o'-lantern Jubilee is in, and I'll run pick it up and find some kind of a fluffy thread to fluff him out a little bit, and then maybe he won't look so janky and sad and mangy and all that. So I'm gonna run up there and get that, and then I will probably finish this weekend. So it's been a fun stitch. I used all the called for colors, or what it called for. Now the only thing I would go back and do different are my 922 and my burnt orange are real close. If I had it to do over again, I would choose another color instead of that 922, because there are a couple of places that they're against each other and you can't really tell it. I don't know if you can see, if I hold them up together, if you can tell that there is a difference. Of course, they're hand-dyed threads. They, the colors do change over time. I mean, they're hand-dyed. But see, their dark oranges are a little oranger, and their brights are a little brighter, the bright orange parts. So I would probably change that color up a little bit. But other than that, I have loved this thing. Danita found it and sent it to me. It is impossible nearly to find. It shows up occasionally on eBay, Etsy, Stash Unload, but not a whole lot. So you just gotta be patient and look. I said, we'll just share this one around like we will with the Noah, because they're not, I guess the person is out of business and doesn't work anymore. So we'll just do a share with it. When one person finishes, send it back, and I'll send it to the next person to try to get it done. So, because there's no other place to find it unless you just look out and find it on one of those sites. It's usually not terribly expensive if you find it, but they're just, I guess, not out there. Everybody's kids do like my kids when their parents went to downsize or passed on or went to the home or whatever, and they just pitched it in the ditch, because that's what my kids do. That's why I'm passing all mine on. So if that bothers you, well, I hate that for you, because I don't think it's I don't think throwing things in the trash is being a good steward. If it is if it's something usable, I don't think that's, I mean, I understand people talking about, the designers, and I mean, I understand that part, but it's the same thing. Like I said, I look at it like a book. When I buy a book, I don't throw it away when I'm done reading it. I donate it to the library, or I donate it to a friend, pass it on. There's a group of us, we pass things on and pass it on to Mama first, and then Mike and me, Mama like this, and then we just pass it on from there, Grandma Billy. And I feel the same way about my patterns. I don't think it's being a good steward of what you're blessed with to throw things in the trash. And if you're a collector, that's different. If you're a collector and you love having them and flipping through them, and that is a completely different thing. If you collect charts, collect your charts. That is completely different. I'm not a chart collector. So for me, I don't flip back through them like that and all. So for me, that doesn't work. If you are a chart collector, collect those things and enjoy them and look at them, because I keep books. There are books that I keep by some of my favorite authors. I keep them and I never get shed of them, because I do reread them. I reread them. So those books I don't get shed of. Even if I loan them, I put them back, because I'll read them every year or every couple of years. I will reread things. So if you're a collector, collect your charts and enjoy them. Love them and enjoy them. But I'm not. So when I'm done with them, they sit in a box or in a folder or something. It's just not, it's good to nobody because it's just sitting there waiting for my kids to throw it in the trash when I die. So that's what I do for whatever it's worth. So we will share that guy on and try to get it where some people can stitch it because it is so hard to find. I worked on Quaker Pumpkins, so cute, by Hello from Liz Matthews. This guy here. It is kind of hard for me. I discovered Quakers may not be for me because of the diagonal stitching. Now, y'all sent in a lot of suggestions, and I have found that for me, if I don't count, here he is here, and I've got the called for threads. These are just the called for threads to stitch with. And this is the tiger's eye, and it's gorgeous. And I put my stem on because I knew I'd get confused which was the top and the bottom. So when I had put my stem on, I did some more on this side and this side here, and started this flower out this way. So, and then I went up and did the stem. So it's just on 32 count dirty linen that I had in my stash. It's not a great stitch as far as the linen goes because it's kind of hairy and fuzzy, but it is, I love the look of it. And I love that tiger's eye. And I'm finally getting to where I can say it right, tiger's eye. But it is gorgeous. But if I don't count this one and this one, the first one and the last one, and I only count the ones in between, that does help immensely. So thank you for that suggestion because that is helping so much. Because the diagonal stitches really beat me. I don't know what it is. My brain just struggles with them. But I have had a lot of fun with this one and really enjoyed it, and I love the colors, and I can't wait. I think I'm gonna go this way and do that little guy next. I'll do a piece of the border and then jump on over here and do him. And just, this is gorgeous. This design is beautiful. Quaker Pumpkins, Hello from Liz Matthews. If I held it to the side, it would help. I know it came out last year and some of y'all stitched it last year. I didn't get it done last year, and so I'm putting it in as my first, in my bittersweet season, or my first fall stitches of the year, because I want them done to display. I have said I will not do All Hallows Eve because it's so beautiful. I want to leave it out through Thanksgiving. So I won't put All Hallows Eve here. I'll just put something. I don't know what. But I love it. I love it. It has been very fun to stitch. The colors are so, so pretty. Just, man, that's a beautiful fall palette. Gorgeous. Gorgeous, gorgeous. So I've had lots of fun with that one. And then, who else is over here? Jessie. Jessie Watson, our Autism Awareness Sal with Barbara, the Raspberry Stitcher. And I am kind of at a stuck place on this because I've got to decide whose name I'm going to put across the bottom. And I'm going back and forth between my grandmothers and stuff, and I don't know. I just don't know. These are the colors that I pulled to do mine in. Where's that red? It flipped up right there a minute ago. There's the red on there, so that's kind of the colors. It's on 32 count golden needle from Floss and from Fabric and Floss. Niecielynn, why can't I keep that right in my brain? So I'm getting to the point where the next row, you have VXY, I think here, VXY, and yeah, and there's a little Z. And then you have to start putting the initials of the family, or you could put a saying, whichever. But I'm at that point. I went ahead and put the W because that's my last name initial. So I didn't worry about that. I left it in there. But I've got to decide where I'm going on this. I don't know. I have not decided. But it is gorgeous. It's fun. The design is incredible. Like I said, I told you I didn't do the letters are kind of rainbow, different color each one. I just did my letters and my numbers and my other ones solids because I don't like switching thread that much. And that, I love the color palette at the bottom, but the alphabetic letters, the alphabets being all rainbowy, that's not my jam. It's just not. So I like them being in solids better, and then but I love the color at the bottom. So I love the colors in it. I just didn't like the way they were so mixed up at the top. So I just changed it up, as is my fashion. I mean, this is your stitch. Do what you want with it. And some of y'all may have seen, and I don't remember where I posted, oh, in the cross stitch camp. Hey Sherry, if you do Facebook, you should do cross stitch camp because Sherry has had that going, and it's been so fun to see everybody's work and stuff. She has a different little challenge every month and stuff, and that's what I used to get my Quaker pumpkin started. I knew I wouldn't be able to finish it within the month, but it did get me going and get me started on it, so that makes me super happy. But my friend lost her son in an automobile accident, her only child, and I wanted to stitch something for her, and I couldn't decide what. And so one of y'all had sent Tiny Modernist Birdcage Biscornu. And I had never stitched a Biscornu before, and I've never stitched Tiny Modernist before. I have thought about it because she has a panda one, and Kimi loves pandas, and she has a little panda Biscornu that I thought I need to stitch that for Kimi. And so I decided I would try this, and I'm sure you can stitch them on something besides Ada. The picture showed Ada, and the instructions said Ada. So that's what I used for the first time. I didn't want to go out on a limb. But this, and it may not show up in the thing, this piece of, oh, there it is right there, beautiful. It's a beautiful piece of Ada from Frankie at A Wicked Stepmother. And she'd sent it to me, and I'd started to share it on right away. And I hadn't done it yet. I don't know why, I just kept forgetting to pick it up. And so now I guess I know why, because I needed to have this. Because I decided I wanted it to look like a blue sky in the background. And then I opened I don't know if you can see, stand up and see if I can point at it. I opened the little door to the bird's cage. So here all the cages are closed in her design. I'm gonna open the door on each little cage as I go around. So each cage will have an open door, and then here are his initials, and I'll put 1988, 2021, and then I'm gonna put Fly Free right here. So, and then I'll get this to her. I'm loving it. And I do also want to say that I used nearly all the threads I have in here that I'm stitching are some that y'all have sent with different things. And so I went in and found them, and there are a few colors that I couldn't figure out how to incorporate that y'all have sent. I'll put a little snippet of each one of those on the inside. Y'all know I'm a Juju girl, and I think that things are embedded with things. I think lots of love go into things, and when y'all send them to me, I appreciate it, and I feel like there's lots of love. I know there's lots of love when you send a gift to someone, and I just want to pass some of that love and strength on to her. And so the threads that y'all have sent that I couldn't figure out, because it has about 6 colors, and I don't think I have 6 even. 1, 2, 3. I have 5. So I just used 5 colors in mine. So the other ones, I will have each a little snippet. If you've ever sent me thread, it'll be a little snippet in there. of the thread you sent, so that some of this community is incredibly strong and kind and full of love, and I will put that inside this little biscornu, and I think a little bit of it will go on its way to her, because I can't imagine her heartbreak right now. I can't imagine what she's going through or dealing with, or I just can't. So this is my attempt to send a little comfort her way. So thank you for that pattern, and thank you for the thread, and it will all, and the fabric and the thread and the pattern, all that is being stitched into a love for someone. And I hope the designer doesn't mind that I opened up the bird cage, because I am ruthless about changing up patterns. I am incredibly ruthless. So we all know that about me. I did FFO Noah & Co. this week. So without further ado, and this was my frame I got junkin' when we were at the antique store, junkin', whichever you call it. It's junkin' for me. If I'm going antiquing, I have to think like, antiquing, I'm going antiquing. I have to say it like that. I feel like it's fancy. I don't ever go fancy. I'm just junkin', okay? So it may say an antique mall on the front, but if you ever been in most of them, they're really junkin', okay? There's a lot of junk in there. But you know, junk is in the eye of the beholder. What is junk to me might be a prize to somebody else. It's just what you collect. But I loved finishing it up. It is not perfectly centered, because if I perfectly centered it, my banner was touching. So I just centered off the edge of the ship and the edge of the banner. So it does look like it's offset a little bit to one side, but it is such a fun stitch. And I did have to make it shorter to make it fit, but it fit just fine. What did I tell you? This frame was $8 or something. And I just love it. And it will go in there with the rest of my Noahs. I'm gonna start another Noah also and keep one in rotation all the time, but it is just the cutest stitch. It is on a piece of 28 count even weave that was a gift from y'all. And then I thought I would use 4075, but I didn't. So we're gonna flap him onto the back. DMC white. DMC white. This is a Wicked Stepmother Woolly Swamp. This is a Wicked Stepmother Love Letters in the Sand. Love Letters in the Sand. This is a Wicked Stepmother Nutcracker. Then I have DMC 890, DMC 3031, DMC 780, Classic Colorworks Ruby Slippers, DMC 976, DMC 414, and a Wicked Stepmother Hard to Be Humble. And there is another blue that I'm not quite sure about. I think it is DMC 3750. I'm not sure though. I grabbed it off of something, and only thing it is the blue checks in this smokestack and the blue right up there in those little, on the front of the little eaves. I don't know. I grabbed it when I was working on something else, and I'm not sure what it is. So, but those are the colors I used. I had so much fun with it. It was a fabulous stitch. So that was, that's already on its way to the next person to stitch on, because it is another one that you can't find, you can't get. So it's SS Noah & Co., the ARC, and it is by Heartstrings, not Samplery. It just says Heartstrings, the artist collection, and it's just hard to find. I do not know what the heck, but I love stitching it. So then we have a lot of questions and comments. That puts us about 30 minutes. So then we have lots of questions and comments, so we're not doing too bad. Kara, I hope you've been having fun in Texas this week. I hope you got to Stitch and Itch, and I hope you made it to the shop in Cleburne. I have not made it over there yet, but I hope you're having a great week. It's not hot. We're not supposed to hit 100 till I think Sunday. So for us, this is unseasonably cool. So I hope you are having a great time and not melting. And Jeannie, muy bien, y tú? I try to keep up on my Spanish, although we all know I'm gonna lie in Spanish just like I do in English, because I'm not muy bien. Así at best, with the shingles and all the fever blisters and all that. So Jeannie and Cindy, and there were a couple of other y'alls that said, you know, you did speak a little bit of Spanish. I love it, and I wish I spoke it more. I should call and find some place to go and help and volunteer and use my Spanish more. Maybe I'll get on that. MK Kim sent me all these fabulous names. Now I've been to Pennsylvania, been to Erie, and then we went around and went Erie, Ohio, Michigan, because we went to a big Egyptian exhibit in Detroit at the museum. And then when we got ready to leave, there was an issue where they were shutting down the streets to have some kind of a festival, and Mama was driving, and she's in the rent car, and we ended up in the tunnel to Canada. So we ended up going all through the tunnel into Canada, and by the time we got there, you know, the little man says, do you have anything to declare? I'm like, I'm glad I'm out of Detroit, because that was getting to be hectic. We'd turn down this street and they'd shut it and turn us this way, and they'd shut it and turn us this way. So it was a hot mess. That was also the night that Princess Diana died. So I will never forget it in all my life. But I have been in Pennsylvania, and I love that around Erie. We went and saw oh my gosh, what's the clipper ship called? I want to say the Niagara, but that may not be right. There's a clipper ship there on Lake Erie and all the lighthouses. It was fabulous. But she sent me all these cool names, because she knows I love crazy, weird, cool names of things. And I'm probably going to kill some of these. The first one is Lackawaxen. Now this made me laugh, because this looks like something that could happen to you, like you go on vacation and you put on your bathing suit, you're like, oh, there's been a Lackawaxen going on. And so that is a hilarious word. Wissahickon, Pohopoco Creek, Nesqueoning, Lake Wallenpaupack, Punxsutawney, which, love it, Bird in Hand, and there's a town called Intercourse, which is hilarious. And she said there's also a Hanky Panky Road. It, however, is not in Intercourse. So Hanky Panky has a very clear line where they stop. At Hanky Panky, it does not go into Intercourse. So there you go. I loved it. I love cool names. That makes me so happy. So thank you for sending those. And I will have to go look at my Pennsylvania maps this afternoon. She also said that in their yard, they have something called jewelweed. And you can put it on poison ivy to counteract it. So I thought this was the coolest thing. So Grandma Rose's homestead, have you heard of jewelweed? I have never heard of jewelweed around here. So that's another thing that's going to get looked up this afternoon, because I may be planting me a whole patch of jewelweed and have a jewelweed garden. You can call it a weed all you want. If it'll keep me from itching from the poison ivy, I'm on that like white on rice. And duck on a June bug. That is fabulousness. Fabulousness. And yes, y'all, last week I did say February. I had flipped back to look up, cross-reference something that I needed to make a note about, to tell about, and I had February in my brain. And I said February. Yes, it was not February, it was July. Nothing wrong with me. What is wrong with me? I don't even know. But Tina and Kristen and Cindy and Jenny and Paulette, thank you for letting me know, because I would have not even noticed. I don't go back and watch, so I wouldn't have noticed that, I had said February if y'all didn't tell me. And Paulette, I only know, you know, there's Paulette that's a designer, but it's not a real common name. I have a cousin named Paulette. Her daddy was Homer Paul, and so she was Paulette. So I love that name, and she's fabulous. She's a nurse, and she's wonderful. So I love that I saw that name, and you made me think of her. So thank you for that. And poor Elizabeth fell prey to my talk. She went to find the tea I was telling about, which is, I'm going to say it, so maybe the constant, like ongoing, constant comment, like something you say. So constant comment. Of course, when everything gets translated, and, you know, you're trying to listen, and she said it came out Constance comment, like the name Constance, and comet, like in the sky, or the scrub. But y'all know that would be a great Sailor Moon character. If any of y'all draw any anime, that would, there's a piece of hair tickling me, y'all, I'm sorry. Constance Comet would be a fabulous Sailor Moon type anime character. So somebody get on that, because I love it. So that made me laugh, Elizabeth. I loved it. And Olha, Junkers Unite. I love it. Maybe I could start a side shoot of my Flosstube channel as Junkin and make a different YouTube channel. And then maybe I could practice my Spanish on there too. But yes, I am a Junker. I love Junkin. And she said her mother always had a saying, before I forget to say this because I loved it, that Hope has two daughters, anger and courage. And for me, we always know which one comes first. And for most people, you know, anger is always secondary to something else. So you have either been hurt or frustrated, or, you know, there's a million reasons, but you're never just angry. You're angry because of. And if you feel angry, you need to try to figure out, why am I feeling this way? Because anger is secondary. It doesn't just happen. You know, even I think if you, now of course if you have chemical imbalances or things like this, this is a whole different ball game. But when we're talking about just being angry, you're angry because of something. So I love that, because, you know, you can just get yourself in check and then suck it up and get on with it. And that's where the courage part comes in. So I love that. Elizabeth, I forgot to go back and say that, but that was what her mom said. I had myself a little note down here. Y'all should see these papers. It looks like crazy when I write things. And Char said that tea at Elvira's or Elvida's that I loved must have been black as crude oil. And yes, it was. It was black as my soul. It was literally just black and so good. Oh my gosh, that tea was so good. I love it, love it, love it. And that you listen in double time. I know there's some of them out there be like, you gotta be kidding me. Yes, Char listens in double time. So, and I do my audiobooks that way a lot. I speed them up to 1.5 because I feel like when I'm listening to an audiobook that the person is reading like this. I'm like, oh my gosh, come on with it. So I always speed my audiobooks up to 1.5 or 1.25, but I've never tried it on 2. I might get in a lot more. Right now I am listening to, and it's not in this room, Kate Quinn, The Huntress by Kate Quinn. It's really good. It was, my friend Wally turned me on to it, and it's excellent. The Huntress by Kate Quinn, and I am loving it. If I got it on my app on my phone, it was like a 6-month wait, but then when I went to my library, they had it on CD, you know, or whatever. And then I got back home and realized I didn't have nothing to play the CD anymore, except the computer in the office. But so then this is when your good old Southern Engineering comes in. I have a little Bose speakery thing. I think it's by Bose that James Williamson bought me, that you could stick your iPhone on like that and make, you know, make sound. And so, but this isn't in my iPhone, so that wouldn't work either. But then I remembered that there used to be a little cord that had the, I guess it's kind of an AC adapter, DC adapter, AC, yeah, DC adapter, I guess it's what that is, with the one prong on each end. And so, like, just like on the end of your headphones used to be. So then I needed one that had two. Well, I looked and looked, but I had one that had that and one that went into a phone or into a computer. So then I ordered one that had the two on either end. So then Micah had ordered me a Walkman. She said, because I had messaged her, I said, hey, do you have anything in your house plays CDs? She said, no. And she sent me back. She said, Mom, they're going to be sending you, it should be there tonight. They sending you your very own little Walkman. I'm like, oh, thanks. She said it was nothing. It didn't cost nothing and it's coming straight to you. So then when it got here, now I had to wait for the other piece the next day. I listened to it while I was walking, you know, and all, but, and in the yard. But then when I was in the house, those things hurt my ears like crazy. And so then my other piece got here. So it looks like weird signs gone wrong in here, because I have the little Walkman thing and then the cord, and then it's attached to the little speaker thing, which is then attached to the plug and to the wall. It looks crazy in here. So, but it is working. But it is the Huntress by Quinn, and it is so far excellent, excellent, excellent. So check that out if you've got listening or reading time. I don't think they had the book or the, everything was a long wait. So then I found it on CD at the library. So, and Dottie, Stitch and Scotty, Dottie, who is Stitch and Scotty, sent Dolores that a Tisket Tasket got there and it is being stitched. So a Tisket Tasket has gone on to its first person and it is being stitched right now. So that made me so happy. So thank you for letting me know that, Dottie. And the Contented Stitcher, if y'all haven't watched her, y'all do. She has a great show. I haven't got to watch much this week, but she has beautiful things she's stitching on. She says she junks for frames too. Y'all, framing is expensive. It's crazy expensive. And I mean, I understand there's so much work to it. I'm not saying it is not worth what, because that is a lot of work to frame and make the frame and all that. But like I said, this was $8. I think it was $8 or $10. I think $8. And it fits in here just perfect. It's an older frame. Somebody I think had chalk painted it maybe. But it was just empty. It was just hanging there empty with nothing in it. And so I have a little list in my purse or in my phone, depending on what I'm carrying with me, of kind of things I'm looking for. And I have a little tape measure with me all the time. So when I see frames that I think, oh, that might work, then I have that on there. So that is something you can, you know, or at garage sales or anything like that, because framing is expensive. It's a lot of work, and it's worth what they charge because it's so much work. But keep an eye out. Victoria, I am sorry for your fur baby losses, 2 in 1 year. That's hard. It's just hard. And I am sorry. That is heartbreaking. But get that shingle shot, because I think she's on her, are you on your second round? No, Texas Stitcher is on her second round of shingles. Y'all, I don't even know. And she got the second one when she was about to get the shot. So if you can get the shingle shot, I'm going to recommend you go and do that. Not only because it kept hurting, and I kept thinking, why am I having that weird hurt right there? That's odd. Because it's not, my joints will hurt and ache and throb and all this, but it wasn't in a joint, and I kept thinking, well, what in the world? But yeah, there's nothing wrong with me. But it left a scar. I mean, there's a scar there, and when James Williams had it on the back of his leg and on the bottom of his foot, when we were in Arkansas a couple of years ago in Hot Springs, it left a scar on him too. So you got to be careful with it, because wherever you have it, it's going to leave, it's a scar on there. It's a dark scar on my side. So please, if you can get the shingle shot and it's available to you, that might be something to think out. Okay, and Christy asked about stitching on 36 count. Said that I didn't think I'd be able to stitch on it either, and asked if it was hard. No, I am loving it. I was very worried. Let me grab this piece here. It's right. Of course, it's the one on the bottom. Lord have mercy. I did not think I would be able to see it, but it's not that much different than 32 count to me at all, which I didn't think was different than 28 count. So I was surprised that I could see it, but I didn't have any problems seeing it. It is beautiful to stitch on. You're doing 1/2, so you're using 1 thread. So your stitches just lay like a dream. I mean, it is fabulous. So I would definitely try it. And if they're small little things, small little designs, definitely give it a go. If not, get a little design. Get something small, a little, have anything over here that's that small? Or take an element out of something. You know, you could take something small like this little eagle, you know, any of those little center, and then you could turn it into a little scissor fob when you're done. But I would just keep it real small, stitch count on the 36 the first time, just so that you don't get frustrated. But I don't think you will. I think you'll just snap right through it. And Charlie Craig said that when she does, and think about this, and I thought, yeah, that makes sense, because I do that, but I didn't realize it. So you're counting your threads over, and I know I'm starting here, so I go 1, 2, 3 is my up. 1, 2, 3 up, and then 1, 2, 3 up. So if you can get a little rhythm going in your brain, our brains like rhythms and like things like that. And so 1, 2, 3 up, because you're going to skip every center hole, right? So you're going to come up your first stitch, and then you're going to count, you know, your next time you go 1, 2, 3, and then you're going to go up to the next one if you stitch like I do, 1, 2, 3 up. So you always have this 3 because you have this naked spot in the middle right there. So this, you'll have thread going through, nothing going through, thread going through, nothing going through, thread going through, nothing going through, thread going through. And in doing that, you make your X. You go here and here, and the same thing across. Your 1, nothing, 1. So your 2 is always empty. If that makes any sense. So yeah, I didn't never think about that, but I do say that kind of in my head as I'm counting. Charlie, you're right. So thank you for that. Carla, we did the antique mall in Burleson, is where I found a good bit of that stuff. And there's the one big one there a couple of weeks ago, and we ate at Heart 8, which is a fabulous barbecue place. It started down in Stephenville, but they have big pits and stuff outside, and Heart 8 is such a good barbecue. So if you're ever around and it's Hard, H-A-R-D, and then the number 8, Heart 8 barbecue, like Heart 8, but it's Heart 8. There's one in Stephenville, there's one in Burleson. They've opened up a couple of other ones, I think, but it's so good. Sometimes there's a line, it's worth the wait. Just do it. So yeah, but we haven't done the Azel ones at all. So we'll have to look into that, because we're always looking for someplace to go, you know, just hang out and walk around when it's super hot and get out of the house. Angela and Michelle, the movies went great. Everybody lived through Boss Baby 2, or the Boss Baby movie, whatever it's called. I can't think what it is. We stopped. There is a little Whataburger right there in front of the movies. We went in there and fed them, because the movie was at 11 something, 11:40 or something. So we went in there and fed them before the movie started. And that way nobody would be starving to death during the show or getting cranky. So we ate at Whataburger, and then we went in the show, and our movie has changed, and the Waxahachie movie, and they have put in like an arcades at the front and a bowling alley. Well, that got them stirred up. They were all interested in that. And then we went to the bathroom at the Whataburger. And so we got in there, and I said, Ari, do you want to go again before we go sit down? No, Shug, I'm fine. So we get there, and I'd taken their blankets because I figured it'd be cold, and I had my jacket. Cold was an understatement. It was 40 below zero in there. It was so, even James Williams was cold. If James Williams is cold, it's really freezing in there. So they had their little blankets, and I sat, James had got us the 4 seats on the back row on the end. So we put Aria here, and myself, and then Kimi, and then James Williams. So we all got seated, and we got them covered up with their blankets and everything, and he went and got popcorn and got them each a bucket of popcorn. And with nothing on it. You know, they're like me. They don't, please don't. His will be dripping with butter and it just makes me want to throw up. I can't live that life. But he just got popcorn and they were kind enough to share a little bit. They were so happy. They were curled up in their little chairs, their popcorn, and they watched the whole thing. Ari didn't ask to go to the bathroom. Now, he didn't get him a drink. He didn't get him a drink, which I was worried about. He got one drink, and he said, if y'all need a drink, y'all can take a drink of this. But it was some kind of soda for him, so they weren't going to drink that. But they had their waters and stuff in the car, but he thought if he didn't get him a drink, then Ari might not have to go to the bathroom, and it worked. So it was great. The movie's so cute. If you have a chance to go with your grandkids or your kids, it is an adorable movie. We enjoyed it. Even James Williams stayed awake and we watched it, so it was really cute. So they did great, and so now we're talking about going to see the Jungle Cruise, because we saw the previews for Jungle Cruise, and they were excited about it. And y'all know I love me some Dwayne Johnson, and Emily Blunt. Both of those are fabulous. So we will probably go in a couple weeks to see the Jungle Cruise when it opens up at the show, and take them to the movies and let their parents have a little bit of a break because they're still on House Catastrophe. They put the walls back in, and they swore to them they could match the paint. I said, they ain't never gonna match that paint, Micah. Micah, that's just, it's too much. So, sure enough, they started painting, and it is so red. Men can't see as much red as women can see. That's just a fact. Your chromosomes are what change it, and that Y chromosome in men, they only have half the ability to see red that women have the ability for. Now, people have different degrees of color sight, but I've told y'all time and time again, that's why I do not ever let your husband pick out your paint or your carpet. Because if you tell him you want something beige or something, he's going to bring you something pink. It's going to be pink. Because he can't see that red as much as you can. So never, ever, ever let your husband pick that, because they can't help it. If it's anything that has any hint of red, they don't see that as well as you do. So you can't even be mad at them about it. It's just genetics. It's all it is. So sure enough, it was nearly, the paint they have is a gray with a lot of green in it. And this was gray with nearly a rose gold color, and it was not even close. So they could use us taking the kids to the show so they could have a little bit of a break too. So as soon as there's another movie, we will be going back because it went great. So thank you, Angela and Michelle, for checking, because we had a good time. And Diane Cubido, hello, fellow Texan. That is a fabulous name you have. And whereabouts are you? Because I want to know what part of Texas you're from. Cubido, I'm going to guess maybe over on the Louisiana border possibly, but down south and toward Louisiana, out east somewhere. But anyway, let me know, because you have a fabulous name. And Tara already got her Wicked Stepmother floss and ordered her some more. But man, that got there fast, Tara. I was shocked that you already had got it. And Nanette speaks a couple of languages and some sign, and so she signs for things. And my friend Mel, I've told y'all before, signs for her church. She signs her church service. So thank you for making me think of my friend Mel down in Kerrville. And Linda says her oral surgery is healing up well. But how did I know that you had a floss tube? Did I know that? She has her 30th floss tube video up, and she's Linda Kleindenst, Kleinedinst. So that's another thing on my list to do today. I'm gonna have to go and find your videos. And Olivia, yes, that poor Hoosier cabinet. She saw a Hoosier cabinet one time out on the curb, and sorry, my nose is itching y'all. Her husband would not stop and pick it up. He said, no, this is not a nice area. We are not stopping and getting people's trash can. But she said her mom was a junking queen too. So go mom. I am all, like I said, I will stop. James Williams has just forbidden me to get stuff out of people's trash in our neighborhood. And there have been a couple of times that I was real tempted. that I really thought about calling my kids even and saying, hey, will y'all go get this out the trash because y'all daddy won't let me. But I didn't. I did not. I abstained. Teresa says whenever I say Pap, the closed caption makes it be Pabst, like Blue Ribbon Beer, which I thought that's so funny. And she said she took a 3-year-old and a 6-month-old to Disney. And one of them ended up with a chickenpox. Lord have mercy. I love Disney. I love Disney. I love Disney. But Disney's work. Disney's work. You come back from a week at Disney and you've done it, man. You've done some steps. You've got walking. You got to commit to Disney because it is a truck, but it's so worth it. I love Disney. Edith, I hope your daughter's surgery went well on Wednesday. Let me know. Keep me posted on that. I was thinking about it, and so I'm hoping everything went okay. Dana used the word epic restart for Noah. I love that. That was an epic restart. And sometimes we all need that epic restart. And I love that. It was an epic restart. So yes, thank you, Dana, because I love the way that was worded. Linda, please no choking. No choking while you're watching the videos. Now, Char said if you think it's hard to choke, try me at ×2 because she listens to me at the double speed. So yeah, that probably is really, really funny. Like watching Charlie Chaplin or something. And Susie, yes, 36 count is so beautiful. She said about 2 years ago, she started on her 36 count journey and she does 36 and 40 a lot of the time now. And it's once you start it, and I didn't think I would, but it is gorgeous. And she said when she was a kid, after hearing the story of Noah, she called Noah's wife Mama Noah. And I love that. Mama Noah. She said her grandpa nearly did a flip because, back in the day, the woman was not supposed to be the center stage, but I love Mama Noah. And I bet Mama Noah did a lot of the hard work on that ark. Just saying. Noah may have built the ark, but we know who kept it clean and running. Just saying. Molly, I have had hibiscus tea in Mexico, and it was excellent there. Here, it's like you say, I haven't found it the same up here. Even in Texas, I haven't found a hibiscus tea that was as good as I had down there. It was gorgeous. We had it in the morning. I always love to get coffee there, but one of the other ladies had recommended it somewhere we were, and it was so good. I did try a hibiscus margarita in San Antonio. Yeah, not so much. That was not my, no. It was nearly real sweet or something. I don't know. There was something about the wang of it that did not work for me. Oh, and Kendra says that there is a channel, Creativity with Gidge, Gidge, like Gidget, that she signs. So I'm going to tell Mel about that one because, and the girls will like watching it because they love, Kimi, they do it at school sometimes. They were signing along with things. And so we were having trouble figuring out a couple of things she was supposed to be doing. And so we called Mel and showed her, and she signed back. And so that made her super happy. And it made Kimi James the happiest thing in the world because, boy, she thought she'd found somebody that could really speak signing, and she was so excited. And I got to have Catch on Wednesday. He was here Wednesday morning with me while Bebe went to the doctor. So we had a lot of fun. He was so good, but he is not a day sleeper. He was awake the whole time. He nodded off a couple of times. And one time I thought he was really down. And so I thought, I'm gonna go lay him down. Y'all know his back hit that mattress in there, and he said, I was properly chastised, and I picked him back up and told him I was sorry. And so we went on. We'd been outside in the swing, and I thought he'd gone to sleep, and it was so hot that I thought we'd come inside, and because it was getting on up in the morning and getting hot, and I didn't want him to get too hot. And but no, he was not okay. We're laying in that bed in there. Of course, the fan and everything was going. I should have known, but so then he and I went in here and we turned on the shark shows. So we've been watching shark shows. He likes those with me. So we've been watching shark shows. And segueing into –, Jan and I talking last week, and me forgetting to say this. Sister called me on Monday, I think. Yes. And she has the COVID. So, she and Mama have been holed up in the house over there, staying away from each other, because I could not bring Mama over here after she had been around Sister when Sister had it, because the girls, one thing, the girls can't have their shots, you know, they're little, and James Williams would have made she and I both live out there in the shed like Sling Blade. We would have never been able to get in this house. So, they're doing fine. She's had a cough. He called her in a steroid pack. Mama, of course, has had her shot. And so the doctor told her just not to get up in her face, and she should be fine. So when they've talked, they've gone outside a lot during the day, and he said outside you shouldn't be able to spread it anyway. So to talk, you know, they've gone outside and eaten on the other side of the yard from each other, you know, far apart, but they could still talk and everything. So it's going around here, and now Ray has it. She got it from Sean, I guess, on Friday, maybe. So here it goes. But Jan and I was talking to her last week. I had heard about this, and I meant to tell y'all last week, and I got off topic and forgot. I found my note even where I skipped it when I was telling about something. But I had seen during the lockdown that the government offered program to help pay for unexpected funeral expenses because of COVID. So many people passed from COVID. And you know, you weren't prepared. People weren't prepared. And it's one of those things where, y'all, I know this is bad of me, but when I see, you know, the government going to reimburse you for this, I go, sure they are. Sure they are. And I'm, oh, ye of little faith. Down Thomas over here. But Jan said that it is real, and she had to fill out the paperwork, and then she sent the expenses for her husband's funeral and for his grave marker and his tombstone, and she said, I think it took about 9 weeks, but they sent her a reimbursement for the full amount. So if you have been put in that position and you do have those, and this is also my thinking on that, even if it was covered, if you want to take that money and put it toward their favorite charity or something like that, that's something you could do, you know, with that money. If, say, you know, hey, I don't really need it, but it is available out there, and if you get it and you want to, that's something to honor that person, you know, organ fund, its church, the youth program in your area, whatever, you know, was their thing. That's something to think about, because when I heard that on the news, I heard it numerous times, and I thought, but she said it worked, and it came through. So holler if you, she sent, like, she told me the link and stuff. So if you have been in that situation, let me know. Y'all, we're pushing on an hour here, so I'm gonna get to getting. Okay, last week's shares were Language of Liberty and Halloween Eve. So let's see here, these two. And I'm still, I haven't heard from Tracy Wood. These need to come to you, so holler. Language of Liberty and Halloween Eve. Now, Language of Liberty, the random comment picker picked Loretta Henderson. Loretta Henderson, send your address. And Halloween Eve, this is so cute. I love this, and I have it. I think I have it. I have it in my stash too. So this was a share from somebody else, so I'm getting to pass it on. Or maybe I shared one. Maybe I shared mine already. I stitched a piece of this and gave it to somebody, so I can't remember if I did or not. But anyway, or if I've got 2 extras. But anyway, this one is Halloween Eve, and it is so cute with all those little folks in there. You could stitch them. If you didn't want to do the circle, you could stitch each one of them separately in little centers of a quilt, or in little pin pillows, or in little ornaments, and they would be adorable. But Halloween Eve goes to Peg Page. Peg Page, if you will send me her addresses, Niecielynn, Niecielynn at yahoo.com. I'll get them in the mail to y'all. This week, shares are, since we're going into fall stitching, this, am I going to get that right there? The little hummingbirds are out there. Y'all getting my attention. This is Homespun Elegance. This is, I think, Pumpkin Pickin' Truck. And it is so cute. I love this, love this, love this. It has a little charm in there. If you're interested in this share, use the word truck. Like I'm driving my truck. Let me know if you've ever had a pickup or if you only drive cars. And this one is Barn. Oh Red Barn. The Oh Red Barn by Little House Needleworks. I bought this and I'm not going to get this stitched. I bought this a couple years ago, maybe last year, but I'm not going to get this stitched. It's not going to happen. So it will go on to the next person. And it is, if you're interested in this share, use the word barn. So barn or truck, if you're interested in either one of these shares. And use that in your comment. Be sure and like and subscribe. And I think, y'all, is that it? I'm sure I forgot something. But we're going to cut it loose here, and I'm going to try to get it uploaded before everybody else gets on YouTube this morning because I think that helps. So I hope y'all have a happy Friday, have a great weekend, and enjoy your stitching.